Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. We watched the Knicks last night lose a wild game to the Los Angeles Clippers. And now they stay in L.A., take on the Lake Show. LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and the Los Angeles Lakers. It's not going to be easy. Trust and believe, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a tough game. The Lakers got a top 5 offense, a top 5 defense, or something like that. This is going to be a game that if the Knicks just happen to find a way to pull this out, I can guarantee you Knicks fans anywhere, everywhere will be losing their ever-loving minds, ladies and gentlemen. You better believe that. I'm not predicting a win. I'm just predicting what Knicks fans will do if we happen to get a win. You know them, right? Y'all know them, right? Remember, after this show tonight, I'm going to be on Sportscaster doing the first Knicks Weekly show on Sportscaster where we're going to look at the previous week from last Monday to this Monday. And we're just going to talk about it and everything that went down and what we would like to see happen in the upcoming week. So let's get ready to talk Knicks. Look at this game preview, ladies and gentlemen. Let's rock.
That's the G.
And yes, sir, just like I said, ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow night, Tuesday, January 7th at 10:30 p.m., the Knicks will be back at the Staples Center to take on the Los Angeles Lakers. You can watch the game on MSG. You can listen to it on ESPN 98.5. The projected starters for tomorrow night. Well, let's start with the head coaches. The head coach for the New York Knicks, obviously, is Mike Miller. He's the interim head coach. And the head coach for the Los Angeles Lakers is Frank Vogel. The projected starters for the New York Knicks got Elfrid Payton at point guard. Hopefully he's going to be back. We'll find out. We'll see. Hopefully he'll be back with his team. I'm not going to say hopefully. If he decides to spend time and stay with his family, that's probably the better decision. But he may be back. If he's back, he'll be starting. Elfrid Payton at the point guard spot. If not, it'll be Frank Ntilikina. At the shooting guard, you got R.J. Barrett, Marcus Morris at small forward, Julius Randle at power forward, and Taj Gibson at center. We have yet to see that Mike Miller is interested in putting Mitch Robinson at the starting center spot. And after last night's performance, you probably see why he still belongs coming off the bench. At least for another year. It'll be his spot eventually. We know it. Injury report for the Knicks, Dennis Smith Jr. still out with an oblique issue. I guess sooner or later we'll find out some more about that and see what's going on with Dennis Smith Jr. For the Los Angeles Lakers, Avery Bradley is the start point guard. Then Danny Green is at shooting guard spot. LeBron James at small forward. Anthony Davis at power forward. And JaVale McGee, the goofy guy, at center. I know most of you guys probably seen the video earlier in the season where JaVale McGee faked the injury. I don't know if he actually faked the injury, but they said he faked the injury. Faked the injury, then Anthony Davis found him for the dunk as he came back in. That's JaVale McGee for you. That's the type of stuff that he does, ladies and gentlemen. But the Knicks take on the Los Angeles Lakers. And those are the projected starting lineups for tomorrow night. And we'll see if anything changes. We get any additional information. All right, so let's go on. Let's move on. Let's look at some of the numbers behind this game. All right, the team comparison right now, the Knicks are 10-26. The Los Angeles Lakers are 29-7. Okay. Recently, the Knicks were, the Knicks are still playing well. I'm not going to say that they're not playing well. They played well against the Los Angeles Clippers. They played well against the Phoenix Suns. Obviously, we would have liked to have gotten that win, but it is what it is. But the Knicks are playing well, although they're on a two-game losing streak. The Los Angeles Lakers, 29-7. They're in a 5-game winning streak. Right now, for the season, the Knicks, their points per game is 104.7. They give up 111.8 points per game. They're shooting 43.5% from the field, and they're shooting 34.9% from three. They average 46.4 rebounds per game, 21.1 assists, and 14.3 turnovers per game. As for the Lakers, they average 112.7 points per game. They give up 105 points per game. They shoot 48.2% from the field, 35.3% from three, and they average 45.3 rebounds per game, 26.1 assists, and 15.1 turnovers per game. Right, the Los Angeles Lakers offensive rating is 111.9. That's 5th in the league. The Knicks offensive rating is 104.9. That's 26th in the league. Doesn't entirely tell the story, but that's what it is right now for the New York Knicks. The defensive rating, the Knicks defensive rating is 111.9. That's 24th in the league. And the Los Angeles Lakers is 104.8. That's 4th in the league. But like I said, it doesn't tell the full story. You probably heard me say that a few times already over the past few game previews. But let's look at the full story because, the last 10 games, the Knicks have been playing better. So if you look at the last 10 games, you compare these two teams over the last 10 games, it tells a different story. The Knicks are 4-6. The Los Angeles Lakers are 6-4. So the records are, the records are the records. That's over the last 10 games. Over the last 10 games, the Knicks are scoring better. They average 114.1 points per game. Obviously, they scored 132 last night versus the Clippers. They give up 113.4 points per game. So over the Knicks are actually outscoring teams over the last 10 games. Thank goodness. Finally, they're shooting 46.8% from the field, 35.1% from three, and they grab 49.4 rebounds per game. They're averaging 23.6 assists and 13.4 turnovers per game over the last 10 games. The Los Angeles Lakers, they're 6-4. They're averaging 109.9 points per game. They're giving up 108.5 points per game. They're shooting 46.7% from the field. They're shooting 31% from three. All right, they're grabbing 44.8 rebounds per game, and they're averaging 25.2 assists and 15.3 rebounds per game. All right, so, over the last 10 games, the difference in these two teams, LeBron James and Anthony Davis, they got some guys that can close it out. When you really look at the difference between these two teams over the last 10 games. The Los Angeles Lakers offensive rating over the last 10 games is 109.8. That's 16th in the league. And their defensive rating is 108.3. That's 12th in the league. As for the Knicks, over the last 10 games, their offensive rating is 111.6. That's 12th in the league. And their defensive rating is 111. That's 19th in the league. So, if you go by the numbers over the last 10 games, you hope that this is going to be a competitive game for the New York Knicks. Going to be a competitive game. And it could be. I think we have some players that can match up well. I'm not saying we have better players, but I think we can maybe match up with these guys. Shooting's going to be the big thing for the Knicks, I think, in this game. Shooting. We're gonna have to shoot at a high clip. We shot at a high clip versus the Clippers. We're gonna have to continue that hot shooting. It's not gonna be easy to do. This is probably a better defensive team than the Los Angeles Clippers. At least season long, they've been the better defensive team. Take a look at some of the key matchups. Obviously, the key matchup is LeBron James and Marcus Morris. To me, that's a big matchup in this game. LeBron James is 6'9", 250, ladies and gentlemen. 6'9", 250. It's a big boy. He's averaging 24.9 points per game, 7.9 rebounds per game, 11 assists per game, and 1.3 steals. Shooting 48.6% from the field, and he's shooting 33.8% from three. As for Marcus Morris, he's 6'8", 218 pounds. That's a big size difference when you look at these two guys. Morris is averaging 19.1 points per game, the best he's ever averaged in the NBA. He's grabbing 5.5 rebounds per game. He's dishing out 1.5 assists and just under 1 steal a game. He's shooting 43.8% from the field and a whopping 46.9% from the three-point line. Now, Marcus Morris is a good defender. One of the big things here is going to be size. There's a clear size difference between these two players. That's going to concern me a little bit. Of course, Marcus Morris is feisty, and he'll be able to, he's not going to back down or be afraid of LeBron James. So, he'll be able to play. He'll be able to defend him. LeBron is just not going to abuse him. All right, but it's going to be a good matchup. But we do match up. And Marcus Morris, at least this season, should be able to make LeBron James work. LeBron James gets lazy and not close out on that three-point shot, Marcus Morris could have a day. Pretty sure Marcus Morris is looking forward to this. In the next matchup. Now, don't get afraid when you see who comes across the screen, ladies and gentlemen. All right? Don't get afraid. Be easy. Relax. We're going to talk about it. Okay? Don't lose your britches. Don't lose your britches. Coming across the screen, you're going to see Anthony Davis matched up against Julius Randle. Okay? Now, most likely for the entire game, it's not going to be that way. I expect to see a lot of Taj Gibson on Anthony Davis. And Julius Randle maybe matching up with JaVale McGee, as the starters are concerned. And then when Mitch Robinson comes into the game, you'll see Mitch on JaVale McGee and Julius Randle on Anthony Davis maybe. Okay? But these two guys, these are the two leading scorers. You got LeBron and Anthony Davis for the Knicks, and you got Marcus Morris and Julius Randle. LeBron and Anthony Davis for the Lakers. Don't get too happy. Because I didn't mean to say for the Knicks, for the Lakers. And then Julius Randle and Marcus Morris for the Knicks. Okay, so we'll see how these matchups go and what Mike Miller decides to do. But anywho, Anthony Davis is 6'10", 253 pounds, forward/center. He's averaging 27.7 points per game, 9.5 rebounds per game, 3.2 assists, and 2.6 blocks per game. He shoots 50.7% from the field, and he's shooting 29.9% from three. As for Julius Randle, he's 6'8", 250. He's averaging 18.6 points per game, 9.1 rebounds, 3.3 assists, and just under a steal per game. He shoots 45.3% from the field and 28.7% from three. Now, just remember what I'm saying. Obviously, there's going to be times when Julius Randle is matched up with Anthony Davis. You might see it even more in the fourth quarter than earlier in the game. The same way that Mike Miller did with Montrez last night. Right? He didn't want Julius Randle picking up early fouls. So I'm thinking you're going to see a lot of Taj Gibson on Anthony Davis as well. Of course, Taj Gibson is a better defender, at least in short stretches. He's going to be a better defender than Julius Randle. Can Taj Gibson do it for 30 minutes? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Can anybody guard him for 30 minutes? Probably not. You know what I mean? The idea is just to make it tough on him, make him work for it. Be physical. If you can be physical with him, make that guy work for the buckets that he's going to get. If Marcus Morris can make LeBron James have to think about everything he's doing on the offense, maybe try to turn LeBron James into more of a shooter, a scorer on this night than distributing to Anthony Davis and Danny Green and all those other guys. And then, try to keep, let those guys do what they do and then try to keep everybody else at bay. It may or may not work. It's tough to defend these guys. But you're going to see Julius Randle matched up on Anthony Davis sometimes. Keys to the game, ladies and gentlemen. Number one, let's be focused and prepared. Mike Miller's going to have these guys prepared. I believe that the players have to be focused. Stay focused. Don't get crazy. Don't lose it. Control your emotions. We've seen in that second quarter, the Knicks lost it. They lost their composure. They did not control their emotions. A few, I don't know, what we get, two or three technicals in that second quarter. We got to control our emotions. We need strong bench output. All right? We need our bench to step in, step up, do something. Our bench got smacked by Lou Williams and Montrezl Harrell. You could probably expect that, but we're going to need more from the bench. We need some more bench output. Let's not let the ancillary players get hot, the Danny Greens and those guys. I'm saying let's okay, LeBron James and Anthony Davis are going to do what they're going to do. Make it tough on them, but let's make sure that we try to shut down these other guys and actually make them guys have to do all the work. Let's try to make Anthony Davis have to go for 50. Let's try to make LeBron James have to go for 30 or 40. 30 is probably easy for him, or 40. Let's make them guys have to do that in order to pull this game out. That's how I think we need to do it, because LeBron is averaging 11 assists. You know, you don't want him distributing the ball and getting everybody else involved. All right, because then come down fourth quarter, you start getting everybody else involved, come down the fourth quarter, you know, those guys feeling good, they're feeling hot, and if the game is tight, they take it away easy. You know what I'm saying? Let's make it a little bit more difficult. You know what I'm saying? Make LeBron James have to shoot a lot. Make Anthony Davis shoot a lot, which they already do. Make him have to shoot more. They might be on, whatever. There's not going to be too much you can do about it. Just make it difficult on them. Then the other guys maybe don't really have a rhythm. I don't know. That's my strategy for it. Some people might think otherwise. That's my strategy for it. Morris and Randall, we got to make LeBron James and Anthony Davis work. And I don't mean making them work by grabbing, you know, getting the ball in isolation. That's not how I mean to do it. All right, but we got to make them work. And here's how you make them work. This is what I think you got to make them do. Both of those guys, Marcus Morris and Julius Randle, can move without the ball. Especially Julius Randle. He can move off the ball. And if Anthony Davis is guarding Julius Randle, or sometimes you may even see LeBron guard Julius Randle. If those guys are guarding Julius Randle, instead of just giving Julius Randle the ball in the post or giving him the ball at the high post and letting him go to work, keep him moving, right? Have him cutting and slashing to the basket. Make Anthony Davis, make LeBron James have to chase those guys. Marcus Morris can come off screens. Obviously, he's a knockdown shooter. If LeBron James has to chase Marcus Morris around a couple of times, he's going to get tired. Make those guys have to work. And I don't mean by just, you know, standing still and playing one-on-one defense. Make them have to run. Make them hit some screens. Go over and around and through screens. They'll be tired. Make sure that RJ is involved again. He can be an X factor for us. All right, let's get him involved again. Make sure that, you know, try to get him going early. Get him going to the basket. A couple of early layups, some things like that. See if we can get RJ going again. Try to make that guy be the X factor out there on the floor. That's my take for the game, ladies and gentlemen. I know I got a couple guys here in the chat. I want to see what these guys are thinking, see what guys, how they feel about this game. All right, and then, you know, I want to remind you that I'm going to be on Sportscaster after this, as we're going to break down what's going on with the Knicks this week. It's going to start at 10:30. So I'm getting off of here about 9:10, 9:15. So I don't have too much time on here, but you're going to be able to you'll get a chance to come over to Sportscaster and join me on Sportscaster. All right. I'm getting off a little bit early so I can set up everything on Sportscaster. All right. Let me get to these guys right here, man. Gammo, starting with you, bro.
I'm really amazed that you use the word britches, which is extremely old school. I don't know how the hell you pulled that out.
Oh no, it just
your
came to my
vernacular,
head.
but goodness gracious, man, you really showing your age, man. If you said britches, by the way, britches are pants for anybody who doesn't know, but that's a very
Britches are
old school
pants, yeah.
term.
They're pants.
But
They're definitely pants. Don't
yes,
lose your
yeah.
britches.
But yeah, yo, the Knicks. I don't know why. It just sounded weird when you said that. But the Knicks, man, this is a really interesting game because the Knicks, if you look at the stats, as raw stats, we're actually the best offensive rebounding team right now. People say, I know they joke on it and say, oh, it's because, you know, Clyde says because we can't score. We're actually not I don't think we're the worst scoring team, but we have like the best offensive rebounding team. Now, the Lakers, on the other hand, they're one of the better defensive teams, right? I think they lead the league in steals per game, or they're second in steals, they're number one in blocks. Their middle and defensive rebounding. And they have a lot of size, right? Dwight Howard, what's your boy's name? AD. And they're a weird team, right? So I was trying to look up some of their stats. So when you know LeBron, likes a high pick and roll, dish out to the guys, to other guys, and it seems that they don't. Not say that they don't run it a lot, but I think they're in the middle of the road for pick and rolls. But I think it's more of a drive dish out to the perimeter guys, right? So
Mhm.
obviously, and they cut a lot too. I think they're one of the top teams in cutting, making cuts to the basket. So it's going to be. I guess maybe Vogel or whoever did it, they implement a lot more things into the so-called LeBron James system, making it a lot more dangerous. Because as we know, LeBron James, right, used to be high pick and roll, Tristan Thompson, and pass it to perimeter guys. But I think it's a little bit different this year. Just looking at the stats, stat wise, right? But when I watch them versus the Clippers, LeBron James, that team, they can get rattled, right? Obviously, the Clippers, when they had Kawhi and Paul George that game, obviously you're talking about two superlative players. But the Lakers, when I watch that game, they really only have a plan A, right? If you watch that game at the beginning of the game, AD was in the post, catching the post and scoring. And then as the game kept going along, he kept moving away from the basket. I think the Lakers are a team that, and as resilient as the Knicks have been, we also have to be focused, right? You heard Julius Randle say, "Oh, he's looking forward to playing his team again." We don't need Julius Randle who's going to go out there and try to put up 40 because it's a former team, and he probably saw LeBron James coming and left early because I think he's a free agent, right? And he went to the Pelicans. But I think it's a game where everybody has to be focused. The offensive rebounding, we have to be active on the boards because they have size. Um,
Right.
and I think you have to drag the offensive game away from AD. Now that sounds difficult as hell, but if we could get our big man, well, I mean, he's probably gonna be a Mitch. I wish Mitch could shoot, but if there's some way to kind of take the offensive game away from him, LeBron James isn't that good defensively anymore. Guys like the Danny Green, he's still solid player. KCP is a solid player, but this is a game where we're gonna have to kind of screen up top, create space, and kind of keep the ball away from AD, man. We can't let these guys get on their because they like to do the fast breaks. They like to blow out, create leads from steals and fast breaks. So we got to play smart. If I hope we don't have a bad shooting night, but this is a game where we probably have to shoot a little bit more, and just take away the game from AD. And when AD's out, or we get him to foul trouble, which would probably be difficult, but if you could try when he's out of the game, then that's when you kind of attack. Attack, slash to the basket, and go after them. Yeah, but I mean, I'm just trying to look up stuff now. But yeah, it's going to be a tough game. But again, this is a game that we can win because I think even now, let me not say that, but I think this is a game that we could win. Like
So let
that.
me ask you this: what do you see the matchups to be? Looking at the two starting fives, right? What do you see will be the matchups? All right, because you have. Let me go over these starting fives with you one more time. You have. I'm assuming Elfrid Payton will be back, right? If not, it'll be Frank Ntilikina. Either way, right? Same thing. Okay, so you got Elfrid Payton and Avery Bradley, R.J. Barrett, Danny Green, Marcus Morris, LeBron James. Now, when we start looking at Julius Randle, Anthony Davis, Taj Gibson, JaVale McGee, who guards who out of those four? Who do the Knicks guard? Do you put Taj Gibson on Anthony Davis and Julius Randle on JaVale McGee?
JaVale McGee he's clumsy outside of 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 feet away from the basket, right? With AD though, because AD can also play outside, I want somebody who could follow him outside. Because I remember I can't remember exactly which game it was last year or maybe the year before. It might have been last year. I can't remember. But AD was killing us from basically just running the corners. Like it was hardly of him being down the post and and dominating us. And I say he can't do that. He obviously can do it, but AD likes to get running starts to the basket. AD likes to be in motion. Obviously, he can space out on the top. So I would say, this sounds tough, man. If AD is not killing us from the outside, I would try to have Todd try to frustrate him and keep him out. Obviously, that's difficult. I'm not saying it's easy. We're going to be at a disadvantage just because of size, whatever. I want Mitchell Robinson because I don't want Mitchell Robinson to get in foul trouble with AD. And I think that somebody, if if he's not starting, because what's going to be Taj, Peyton, RJ, Randall, and Morris, right?
Yeah,
Just if it's the normal starting lineup.
right.
I don't want Mitch to get in foul trouble when he gets into the game. So I'd rather him match up with this idiot, JaVale McGee, um, and Taj. But it's not going to be a game of ISO, right? This is another game that, look, when you have guys like AD in the post, if he can get down low, I want to see the Knicks kind of set the double team trap early, so he has to kick the ball out and force those guys. Obviously, Danny Green and KCP can kind of hit the three, but force LeBron James. If LeBron James having a game where he hits 10 threes on us, then it's that type of night. But force their other players to make those type of plays. Don't let AD get comfortable, throw fouls on the post. Frustrate him early. So it's not just a matter of who's going to play. I know what you mean, straight up, but I think it's a game where we're going to have to not switch, but be
Well,
extremely
yeah.
active on defense just to disrupt their rhythm.
No, I agree with you. There's going to be games. This is going to be one of those games. Yeah, we're going to have to switch, and there's going to be a lot of switching because just because of the the way the size is and matchups and things like that. I also think that it'll be Julius Randle guarding. I'm sorry, Taj Gibson starting off guarding Anthony Davis. Later in the game, I think then you'll see Julius Randle switch on over to Anthony Davis, to kind of like they did against the Clippers with Montrezl Harrell.
Mm-hmm.
Now when Mitch gets in the game, it could be a little bit different when Mitch gets in the game. So if Mitch is in the game, Taj Gibson comes out and Mitch is in the game. Now you got Mitch on JaVale McGee, which is the matchup, and then probably Julius Randle on Anthony Davis. They could switch off. The only thing I'm going to say is, like Montrezl Harrell did to Mitch Robinson, Anthony Davis is just as crafty, right? He's not as abusive as Harrell, right? Okay, he's not going to be as abusive, So Mitchell Robinson will probably fare a little bit better on Anthony Davis than he did on Harrell, because Harrell was an abusive dude.
Yeah, Harrell. The thing about it is that, and this might work to Mitch's game, is that Montrezl Harrell's center of gravity, because it's so low, he has to play more of a dog. And Mitch, I think, likes to play guys with size. Now, obviously, what I said before is, like, I think it's show 80 because, yes, 80 is also crafty. He's not just this big, tall, lumbering type of guy. Like, I could see Mitch dominating against Dwight Howard, because Dwight Howard's a relatively strong guy, but he's fairly limited in terms of his moves. So if you just keep your feet for the most part, kind of play him chest up, he's not I don't think he's going to kill you as well as AD. The only thing with AD is that AD also has that mid-range jumper, right? He can also space out.
Right.
And I think I'll say, and one thing I'll say about the Knicks strategy is that I would actually try to force Kuzma. Right, Kuzma right now is not having really a good year. He's averaging 11.8 points, 3.5 rebounds. He's shooting 42% from the field goal, from the field. But he's only shooting 34.6% from three. And this guy's been trade rumors. This is a guy that he probably thought he was going to get traded last year, and he didn't. And now he's stuck with LeBron, and his trainer said all that stuff. So right now, I put it in his hand, and you know how LeBron James get. If Kuzma's out there, he's hesitating on shooting shots. He's looking around. Guys are, being double teamed, being swarmed, and he has an open shot. And he can't hit it. LeBron James is the type of, emotional idiot that he'll get in an argument with him. He'll scream at him at the court if things don't go his way. So this is a game just like how Patrick Beverley got in our heads last night, or, yesterday, with all the little machination on the court. This is a game where, hey, play the mind games on him. Play the mind games on. You heard what Randall said. Oh yeah, I used to school and blah blah. Well, put it in and say, hey, Kuzma, you ain't hitting that shot. Like, force Kuzma. Obviously, LeBron James is the primary ball handler for the most part, but if the ball gets to Kuzma, if Kuzma having a good game, obviously don't let him hit. If he's hitting, the first 2, 3, 3, obviously play defense. I'm just saying, if there's any way to try to get the ball in his hands and force him to shoot from deep, especially if he's having a bad game, keep doing that. I think one thing that the Knicks do is that sometimes when we have matchups like yesterday, right? I would have forced Patrick. I'm not letting Patrick Beverley penetrate and do all that stuff and then get the ball to Montrezl. I'm gonna force this guy to shoot the three. Force him to shoot that shot and let it be that he tries to kill us. Obviously, he's starting to hit shots. You play up, but it's like certain guys, they ain't gonna do certain things. So you play them to that, and that allows you to kind of sag off, or help out on the other side on defense, or maybe one of their more productive plays. And I want
Yeah.
to see that with Kuzma. Frustrate
Okay.
these guys, get in these guys' head. Because LeBron James, to me, he's a mentally fragile player. Say what you want, he's Hall of Famer. I ain't hating on him. God bless him and his family, Taco Tuesday, all that crap. But he's a mentally fragile. He can get mentally fragile. He's a guy who doesn't want
Yeah,
to execute.
I agree.
And it's a game that the Knicks get close. Remember, go back and watch that the Clippers game when these guys were up by 14 with like 5-6 minutes left to go. LeBron James kept driving to the middle and then kicking out, dishing out. He's a guy that he doesn't want to go to the line and shoot when the game is on the line. He doesn't like to execute. So this is a game that plays right. So just got to be focused. Look, LeBron James gonna have a few alleys and that glamour crap. Good for you. Stay focused like you did against the Clippers. Hold that lead to the end and see if you can win the game, because LeBron James is not a closer like that. And AD, to me, as talented as he is, I wouldn't call him a closer, but
all right. Let me get to Nate, see what Nate thinks. All right. It's gonna be a game. Nate,
What's
you
up,
think,
man? How you doing?
I'm good. Tell me what you're thinking about it.
Well, I mean, I think this is going to be a game where you're going to have to let LeBron pretty much beat you. I think you got to do anything possible to take the ball out of AD's hands, whether it means double team him, trap him, some big bodies, rough him up a little bit. I think you got to take the ball out of his hands and make LeBron beat you. And LeBron will have a hard time with Morris at times. Or allow the shooter to make their shots. I mean, we don't have anybody with a foot speed that can match AD. I mean, Mitch probably is the closest one.
What
but
foot
like
speed that can match AD? You said?
Yeah. Huh?
I mean, I don't know if AD's gonna have like super duper foot speed.
But he can get to the rim at a very quick rate, and three. I mean, he's a nightmare. He's a nightmare matchup. Like I said, I don't think the Knicks have anybody who can go toe to toe with him and body him up. It's gonna take a bunch of bodies to
it was good
to
skills.
play him. And that's
How
why
you
I'm
doing,
saying
bro?
you just got to try to take the ball out of his hands as much as possible. I just don't think the Knicks can play him one on one. But the thing for me, the Knicks are going to have to do if they want to win this game is they have to rebound. They're going to have to rebound, and they're going to have to hold the Lakers to one shot. They cannot allow them to get on the boards and get offensive rebounds, because the problem is that Davis is a good offensive rebounder. McGee, as goofy as he is, I mean, the guy can get putbacks pretty quickly and get dunks and all that. So they're gonna have to body up those guys and keep them off the board. But it's gonna be tough, man. I mean, unfortunately, we just don't have size. I mean, our
Yeah,
tallest guy is
they're
our
gonna have a lot
youngest
of
guy.
size. They definitely have a lot of size.
Yeah, and like I said, our tallest
Yeah.
guy is our youngest guy, and still learning the game and still learning how to play. And who knows, maybe he does match up better with taller dudes, because usually taller guys hate playing smaller guys, especially guys that can like bully ball, and that's what Montrez did to him. So maybe he might fare better with Davis. I don't know. I mean,
Well, I think he'll definitely fare a little bit better.
yeah,
Like Guillermo was saying, having that low center of gravity that Montrez Williams,
right.
I mean Harrell, had. It's just it doesn't work for Mitch. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And not just Mitch, but a lot of guys that's his size. It doesn't work. You know what I mean? It's tough.
And I think I remember when we played the Jazz last year, I think he did okay with Gobert.
Yeah, I think he did. Yeah.
He kind of held his own. He didn't shut him down by no means, but he held his own with Gobert, and Gobert is like Anthony Davis. Only Anthony Davis has more of a jump shot than Gobert does.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I'm actually one of those believers that I hate quoting Fizdale because he's already done. But Fizdale, you remember when Knox was when he came into the league, and what did he say about Knox? He said he's gonna get shook up a lot of games. He's gonna get beat up and all that. But hey, that's how he's gonna learn. Hey man, throw Mitch out there, dude. I mean, let him go at him, man. I mean,
he's going to be out there. He's going to be out there. Hey, Nate, let me get to JC and Skills because I got to get off in like 3 minutes
no worries, man.
so I can get ready for the Knicks Weekly show. All right. JC, real quick, man, tell me what you think about tomorrow night's game.
How you doing? First of all, thank you very much for having this platform for everybody. This cat from the Bahamas. I honestly don't think we're going to win, but what I like is the fact that we are competing against teams that easily would have beaten us at the beginning of the year. And we're beating teams that we're supposed to beat. We're not supposed to be able to beat the Clippers and the Lakers and whatnot. We're supposed to, at least we're competing against them. We're not getting blown away by 1 million points every single time, like how it was under Fizdale. And that's, I honestly think that Julius Randle is going to have a great game because he is back in LA, who traded him, who he wanted to be with. So he's going to be the breakout man, but I don't think we're going to win. If we do lose, it'll be just like with the Clippers, by less than 5 points. You know
okay. Honestly, if we lose by I can take that. I could take that tonight or tomorrow night. I can deal with that.
That's what I think is going to happen. I think we're going to compete and ultimately fall up short because we have no real closers. I mean, you could say what you want about Marcus Morris. Marcus Morris is in the same position that Julius Randle is in. He's not used to being number one. He's not. Julius Randle is not used to being number one. They're playing good now, but they're not used to being number one. So there's sometimes when they're going to falter and they're going to fall. And the other players, I know people harp on age and whatnot, but they aren't really used to it. They can't really do it yet. So it's going to take time, even though New York doesn't seem to have any time. The fans don't have time because everybody's a bust and they want to trade everybody.
Ain't that the truth?
Oh, one thing about trading people, though, I wanted to say this. Because every time I come here, like I said, every time I read in the chat, everybody's a bust. I wanted everybody to go back to the career of, what's his name? Chauncey Billups. Chauncey Billups was a number 3 draft, not a number 8 like Kevin Knox or a number 9 like Frank Dillon-King. He was number 3. Boston kicked him out because he wasn't playing well. He went to 5 teams in 5 years because he wasn't playing good. Until I think he was on the 5th team and Terrell Brandon got injured. He had to play. He finally had a breakout season after 5 years of being a bust. Even the news, even the reporters had him being a bust. That's what Chauncey Billups was like. It wasn't until his 5th or 6th year playing with, I can't remember the team, whichever team Terrell Brandon was on, he played with that team. Terrell Brandon got injured. Finally, he became what he was supposed to become. Then he signed a free agency contract and went to Detroit, where he led them to a championship. You can't say a person's going to be a bust. They need the right situation in which to develop and to become themselves. It might not be here for Kevin Knox. It might not be here for Frank Dillon-King, but I'm not going to call them a bust just yet. And then you always talk to people about age and whatnot, and everybody says, well, they're, you say they're too young, they need to develop, and everybody says, well, LeBron did it, well, Kobe did it, well, Kevin Garnett did it, Luka's doing it. There was a player named Leon Smith. He was drafted by San Antonio and traded to Dallas. He was straight out of high school. They said he was 6'10", had a 7'6" wingspan. He was going to be the next Sean Kemp. After Dallas cut him, he tried to commit suicide. He could not stick in the league. Not every player has the makeup, like a Kobe Bryant or a Kevin Garnett or somebody else. Not every player does that. And some players take long to develop, like Chauncey Billups, who's now called Mr. Big Shot, who's going to be in the Hall of Fame, who won a championship, who led his team to a championship. He was the leader of that team. Rick Pitino said, you're not a good player. Go. Every other coach he had said, you're not a good player. Until like his 5th, 6th year in the league, like I said, I can't remember exactly what it was, but I know he played for 6 different teams in 6 years.
Yeah.
Before he had a breakout and became Mr. Big Shot. Allow these young guys to develop. Not everybody's going to be LeBron. Not everybody's going to be Kobe. Not everybody's going to be Luka. I wish New York could pick them, but it just isn't happening. But
I agree with you, man. Hey, J Cash, I'm gonna get to skills, but I'm gonna ask you to just
I'm
stay
going
on.
right now. I just wanted to thank you for doing this. This is a good forum. Like I said, I'm all the way in the Bahamas, and this is the one place to get news and viewers from. So thank you very much for putting this platform on.
I
Y'all have a
appreciate
good
you,
day.
man.
And in the chat, please calm down. Stop going from game after game after game. You're not like
Yeah.
Come on. Have a good night, sir.
All right, appreciate you. This is what I'm going to do, Skills, because I got to get set up for this Knicks Weekly. So I want you to stay in the chat. Hopefully Nate, Guillermo, and everyone's going to stay in the chat because I'm going to jump on over to Sportscaster so we can do the Knicks Weekly. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to ask you right now, all right, to jump over to Sportscaster. I'm going to put the link in the chat, all right, putting the link in here right now. Because at 10:30, I'll be doing Knicks Weekly. And we're just going to break down and talk about the week. All right. It's going to be on Sportscaster. So I'm spamming my own chat right now so you can join me over at Sportscaster. All right. Join me at Sportscaster. Click on this link. Sign up. Okay. It's 186 people in here. So I'm hoping we have 186 people over there at Sportscaster. All right. And we're just going to wrap up the week from last week to this week. You know, how we think, you know, the Knicks did, looking at the weeks. And then we're going to go ahead and, you know, talk Knicks for about an hour or so. All right. So go ahead over to Sportscaster right now. And I will catch you there at 10:30, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate you guys for being on here with me. And I will see you next weekly. I'm out of here. Peace.
That's the thing.